Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakawadash.
So, like I was saying, there's a lot that's going down this year, and whatever happens or takes place this year could catapult us into next year, being the year of our deliverance. Because you see how things get ready to happen with World War III, and also they're getting ready to roll out the digital currency.
I feel like we talked about this last week.
So I don't want to be the guy that said that it's gonna go down this year. However, I will declare that we're close, and it's not even just me saying that we're close. There's other brothers that is measuring the times diligently. So that's why it's very important for our people, but really the elect, to be sealed and wake up to this knowledge and this truth. Because I understand that not everybody's going to come around to this knowledge.
Once you understand that this truth is like for the elect, it puts you on like a whole different plane compared to just fly-by-night Israelite. They don't really know what they're involved in.
So with that being said, can you get Hosea 4 and 6?
This is Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. It says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. See, thou hast forgotten the law of thy power. I will also forget thy children."
So we have been cut off from our identity. Most of our people don't even know who they really are. And it's a tragedy, of course. However, that's why you have the prophets out here in these streets putting up videos and lessons on YouTube, to declare that we are God's chosen people. And us being carried away into captivity, various captivities, but bring it up to date, the triangle of slave trade captivity, that really did a number on us as a people, because then our oppressors and our quote-unquote slave masters, they made it their mission to make sure that we don't know that we're the Israelites, which is why they fed us garbage like Christianity, Catholicism. You know what I'm saying?
They covered the face of the judges thereof, like Yahweh Shai. They made him a so-called Edomite, or a so-called white man.
That Puerto Rican dude last week. I was like, so why you got that picture of Jesus in your window, brother? He's not white.
I know. I knew by the pull-up, just how he was creeping. I knew he was on bullshit.
He just slid it across.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
He didn't even really park. He was still in the street, kind of.
So he was yeah, but there really wasn't nothing we could say to a dude like that. He already came in here thinking that he had the answers.
Right. His mind is made up already. Continuing Hosea, that was
What's the point?
This is John chapter 16. I'll start at the 4th verse. Yeah, I'll start at the 4th verse. It says, "But these things have I told you." Actually, I gotta start at the top. This is John 16 and 1. It says, "These things have I spoken unto you, that ye should not be offended. They shall put you out of the synagogues. Ye, the time cometh, that whosoever killeth you will think that he doeth the Most High service. And these things will they do unto you, because they have not known the Father nor me. But these things have I told you, that when the time shall come, ye may remember that I told you of them. And these things I said not unto you at the beginning, because I was with you. But now I go my way to him that sent me, and none of you asketh me, whither goest thou? It says, but because I have said these things unto you, sorrow hath filled your heart. Nevertheless, I tell you the truth. It is expedient for you that I go away. For if I go not away, the Comforter will not come unto you.
So that's Yahweh started talking about how he was going to die and go on the cross. And we wouldn't see him for the next 2,000 some odd years. And so here we are in the last days, preparing and getting ready for his return. I mean, it's obvious. Look at the signs of the earth. They just had an earthquake that happened over there in Thailand.
There was like a 7.7 or something.
7.7 magnitude earthquake.
It says, nevertheless.
And I heard that 144 people died.
Damn.
So that's a sign.
Right.
That's the Lord showing his sign to his elect or his members in this truth. That his return is near.
Right, 144,000 to somebody who doesn't know, it's just a number to them. Like, damn, 144 people died, but us in the know, it's like, wow, 144. No, that's a sign. John 16:7, it says, nevertheless, I tell you the truth. It is expedient for you that I go away. For if I go not away, the Comforter will not come unto you. But if I depart, I will send him unto you. And the Comforter being the Holy Spirit. It says, and when he is come, he will reprove the world of sin and of righteousness and of judgment.
Yeah, because when Yahweh comes back, it's not going to be like, oh, this government's in power, this country's in power, or that country's also in power. No, it's going to be a one world government, which is the kingdom of heaven. So every person that's on this earth is going to have to bow down to Yahweh and keep the laws, statutes, and commandments.
Says, and when he is come, he will reprove the world of sin and of righteousness and of judgment. It says of sin because they believe not on me, of righteousness because I go to my Father and ye see me no more, of judgment because the prince of this world is judged.
Yeah, the prince of this world is Esau. He's getting ready to be judged. And the signs is even in the terrestrial. And we can just see it.
And the top wicked elite, they know that their time is getting cut short. It says, I have yet many things to say unto you, but ye cannot bear them now. Howbeit, when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak, and he will show you the things to come. He shall glorify me, for he shall receive of mine, and shall show it unto you. All things that the Father hath are mine. Therefore said I, that he shall take of mine, and shall show it unto you. That's it on that.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty simple.
Acts 7 and 36.
This is Acts chapter 7, verse 36. It says, he brought them out. After that, he had showed wonders and signs in the land of Egypt.
Yeah. And so it's no different from today. The Most High showed signs of ancient Egypt, and he's showing signs of modern day Egypt, which is America. So remember that solar eclipse that happened last year? It was in April. Yeah, April 16th, 14th, whatever.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it was back in April, last April. And people was in a frenzy about that. You know what I'm saying? So what? This year, this Passover, there was a blood moon, right? Blood moon eclipse. So that's, again, a way of the Most High showing you the signs of the times that we're living. Because of all days, why is there a blood moon being seen on the Passover? The Passover is symbolic of the new year. Spring coming in, springtime. Because that's when the reset happens. The new year doesn't come in January when it's cold, you can't grow anything, trees is, depleted, you know what I'm saying? The new year comes in the springtime. It starts to get warmer outside.
The grass
start chirping, you know what I'm saying?
I remember I'm not sure if it was Passover. It was during, but I remember when the eclipse happened last year, and it put an X. It made like an X. Yeah.
I did a video on that. It was an X over America.
Yeah.
The way the paths crossed, it was an X over America, which, like, we took it as a sign. You know what I'm saying? That America is about to be wiped out, X'd out. And
Right.
this is times of war that we're living in right now anyway. So it only makes sense.
The Acts 7 and 30. What did you say, 35? Acts 7 and 35, 36. It says, he brought them out after that he had showed wonders and signs in the land of Egypt, and in the Red Sea, and in the wilderness for 40 years. This is that Moses, which said unto the children of Israel, a prophet shall the Lord your power raise up unto you of your brethren, like unto me, him shall ye hear. This is he that was in the church in the wilderness with the angel, which spake to him in the Mount Sinai, and with our fathers who received the lively oracles to give unto us.
Yes. So the Israelites back then, when Yahweh Shai was around, were the same Israelites that were around during the time of the Exodus in Egypt. Showing you that nothing changed. You know what I'm saying?
It says, saying,
So if the Lord came for the Israelites during the time of the Exodus, then he's going to come for the Israelites in the next Exodus to come, which is going to be up out of America. Restoring Exodus just means a mass departure of people. But this time, like you said, the mass departure of people is going to be the elect, 144,000 and one-third.
says Acts 7 and 39, it says, to whom our fathers would not obey, but thrust him from them.
Yeah, who would not obey. So that's the reason why our people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, is because we rebelled against the Most High. So the result of that was us being led into numerous captivities. Bring it up to date, the captivity of America. That's the most important captivity. Babylon the Great being destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Because when this place goes down, everything else is going to be as follows. Then we're going to receive the kingdom of heaven. Then we're going to receive our new bodies. We're going to receive wealth, substance. I mean, everything that you can think of.
And it all starts with the elect.
You know what I'm saying?
It says, to whom our fathers would not obey, but thrust him from them, and in their hearts turned back again into Egypt. That's it on it?
I get Isaiah 42 and 42 and 21.
There's Isaiah chapter 42, verse 21. It says, the Lord Yahweh is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. He will magnify the law and make it honorable.
Yeah, he will magnify the law and make it honorable. That sounds like what we just read before. Everybody on this earth is going to have to keep the commandments. Right. That's really going to be the moral compass, or like the law. Because you know how we follow the judicial system and the books over here in America? Which really isn't right.
The law of the land.
Yeah, the law of the land. I mean, this same judicial system will give somebody 25 years in prison to life, or give them 50 years. You know what I'm saying? You might as well give that person a death sentence to death. And the Constitution, it says that slavery is abolished unless you end up in prison. You commit a felony, you end up in prison. Then you're allowed to be taken advantage of.
Right.
Because what? How much they pay you by the hour? They pay you 10 cents an hour to produce license plates over there in these state prisons. Because they get these contracts from the government. They'll produce filing cabinets for schools in which the kids in our youth have to attend. and be indoctrinated with nonsense, be taught how to be a follower and not a leader. You know what I'm saying? So everything is connected and entwined to keep us down mentally and spiritually.
Yeah, that goes called the school to prison pipeline. You know, that's not by coincidence.
Right.
It says Isaiah 42 and 21. It says the Lord Yahweh is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. He will magnify the law and make it honorable. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none deliver, for a spoil, and none saith restore. Who among you will give ear to this? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come? Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? Did not the Lord Yahweh, he against whom he have sinned? For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law.
Yep.
Yep.
Now go back and read the 22nd verse again.
Isaiah 42 and 22 says, but this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes,
Snared in holes.
and they are hid in prison houses.
Hid in prison houses.
They are for a prey.
So, statistically, who are the ones that fill up these prisons? Yeah, the Israelites, blacks, Latinos. They're the ones that are predominantly in these state prisons and federal prisons.
But according to their statistics, Esau makes a majority of the population, but prison is filled with Jakes, filled with Israelites. How does that make sense?
Well, they call us the minority. How can that be when we got over, what is it, 18 million blacks?
I don't even know.
Might even be 14 million. And that's not even including the Latino tribes. So really,
And that's why I say like their statistics. So you got to use it loosely, you know?
Yeah.
Because just because you look like an Edomite doesn't make you an Edomite.
so really Esau is the minority.
Yeah.
You know, they're the ones that have a negative birth rate. You know what I'm saying? That's the point.
That was it.
So our people are going through the curses, man. And the only way that we can save, really, the only way that we can be saved is by Yahweh Shah.
This is Revelation 20 and 6. It says, blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power, but they shall be priests of the Most High and of Yahweh Shai, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. So the first resurrection is when Yahweh Shai returns. You know, when Yahweh Shai comes back to save the elect. That's the first resurrection. But again, I like to make the point of this is all for the elect's sake. You know, the 2/3 that die on this side, they're going to make it back in the kingdom of heaven when they're in their right mind. But the Lord, he has no use for these people in this state of mind. It's going to be back like in, you know, the time of Moses when people was bitching and moaning in the wilderness. What was that? What is that? Exodus 16?
Might as well get it.
Yeah, the third verse. This is Exodus 16 and 3. I'll start the second verse. It says, and the whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness.
And he was talking shit.
And the children of Israel said unto them, would to God we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full. For ye have brought us forth into the wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger.
So that's what they were saying. The Israelites, they were saying, Lord, did you really bring us out of Egypt where we had at least
There's something to eat.
have no home.
But the Lord, He provided manna, which is, fish. He fed them. It's not like they didn't have anything to eat.
You said manna is fish?
Isn't it? Or is it bread?
I think it's some type of bread, but nobody really knows like how it's made or what's in it.
Yeah. I believe it's a bread, so like. It says,
So, I mean, I would like to know what it's made of, because for that to be the only thing you eat for 40 years,
you're right.
and that sustained you, you was able to live, I mean, shoot. Be good at the recipe now.
They're just walking around the circle, walking around the wilderness in a circle. That's because they couldn't get on one page. And it's the same thing now. Imagine being here forever, and we can't go into the kingdom of heaven until every Israelite on the planet accepts that they're an Israelite. We'll be here forever.
Everybody repents and becomes a Christian.
We'll be here forever. That's why it's only about the elect. In this Exodus to come, when Yahushua returns, He's not saving His whole creation. He's only saving the elect. That was important. Deuteronomy 7:6. Yeah, this is Deuteronomy chapter 7. We'll start the 4th verse. It says, "For they will turn away thy son from following me." I gotta start over. This is the 3rd verse. And 2nd verse. This is Deuteronomy 7:2. It says that when the Lord Yahweh thy power shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
You bring that up.
What?
Bring that up.
The point is the 6th verse. I'm just reading through it. It says, "For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord Yahweh be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly."
So that's talking about the Canaanites, right?
Hittites.
The Hittites? Well, it's not commanded us not to make marriages with them.
It's really the heathen nation in general. Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites.
Because that's what happened to King Solomon. He had many wives, and there wasn't nothing wrong with that. But where he went off was worshiping their gods and their idols. Because all the nations on this earth have their gods and their idols. For now, the time is going to come when they're going to have to actually worship the God of Yahweh, the God of the Israelites.
So it says, "For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord Yahweh be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly. But thus shall you deal with them."
Because it makes sense. I mean, that would be like you going to Thailand or wherever, and then, bagging a wife, you find a chick, and then you decide to live in that country, you try to convert it into being an Israelite. Yeah, good luck with that. But the rest of her family doesn't subscribe to that, especially, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Like you said, there's really nothing wrong with dealing with the heathen nations. You're just not supposed to be making covenants with them. That's really it.
The time isn't really now for you to be trying to find a wife and convert her into being in this truth. I don't even care if she's an Israelite according to the flesh.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Good luck finding a wife in America.
Yeah. So if you're dealing with a chick, it's probably better that you don't even teach her about the truth, man. She might notice your ways and how you bop, and then she might get curious and ask questions. But for you to just try to convert her and put this, I call it a burden on her, don't expect her to be, very well receptive to this knowledge, you know what I'm saying? Because the scriptures also call this knowledge a burden, a block, you know what I'm saying? So not everybody's shoulders is wide enough or strong enough to carry this. That's just facts.
Especially someone like a woman who's just looking for frills.
And 'cause women, they're victims.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 5. It says, "But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars and break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire." For this is the point. It says, "For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy power. The Lord Yahweh thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth."
Yeah, so-
And then you'll read that, and then a Christian will tell you that Yahweh, who they call Jesus, is coming to save everybody. How do you get that out of that?
So that by definition is prejudice.
Right.
The Israelites are prejudged as the chosen people of the Most High. So why you wouldn't want to be a part of that is beyond me. You know what I'm saying?
Just to bring it out, since we made it.
Everybody knows that the Jews are the chosen ones. Everybody knows that.
Even the heathen, they're just not going to say it out loud. They're not going to try and accept it. They're going to kick up against it, but they know it to be the truth.
Matter of fact, the next random that rolls up on us, I'm gonna ask, you know who the chosen ones are? That's gonna be the question if I remember.
They speaking. This is Luke. Read this real quick. This is Luke 21 and 15. It says, "For I will give you a mouth and wisdom which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist." So we understand this to be the truth. Even the top wicked elite know this to be the truth. You know, you have a conversation with a Christian, they'll kick up against it, but they can't debunk anything that you're saying, because this is the truth. There's only one truth.
What is that? Ephesians 4 and 4 it says that?
Oh yeah, one faith, one baptism. To make the point, because we brought it out, how you could deal with heathen nations. There's nothing wrong with dealing with the heathen nations. Just not make covenants with them. This is Deuteronomy 21 and 10. The header says domestic relations. It says, "When thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, and the Lord Yahweh thy power hath delivered them into thine hands, and thou hast taken them captive, and seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and hast a desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife."
Yeah, because to the victors goes the spoils. That's always been how it goes with war, especially in the ancient world.
Kill all the men, kill all the boys, and the women that laid down with men, take them out too, and you keep the virgins for yourself.
Yeah, and that's why Columbus, you go in the book, he said all the natives are dead.
Right.
All the Tainos are dead. That's why he said that. It's because historically, that's what you do. You kill all the men, like you said.
Then when you have the woman that's never been with a man as a virgin, you pop her, you get her pregnant. Now that seed that she's carrying would be an Edomite child. It wouldn't be an Israelite. The 12th verse, Deuteronomy 21 and 12. It says, "Then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails." Pare is to cut. It says, "And she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her, and she shall remain in thine house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month."
Yes, I don't think you people understand the Bible.
Like you said, they don't have a ruling class mindset. This is squeamish to them. But this is just how it is. This is ordered. And it makes sense when you really think about it logically and not emotionally.
Just think about it. When we inherit the world, we're going to have access to everything.
Right.
Women, money, land, resources. You think we're going to be told no? I mean, what would be the point of us being the Israelites coming back in power if we get told no by all the nations and we get resistance and pushback? gonna accept that answer? You know what I'm saying? That's not gonna be the case.
And in that day, we're gonna be, we're the winning team. Like, we have our spiritual power. The earth belongs to us. A heathen woman that we take, yeah, she's gonna be sad about, how we did her family members, but she'll get over it when she sees the palace she's living in. She'll get over it.
And it's a case by case basis, Not to say that in the future, a woman you might find of another nation, her family might, die. You know what I'm saying? It could be a situation where they live. This is just merely the law of how to handle the situation.
If it comes up. It says, and bewail her father and her mother a full month, and after that thou shalt go in unto her, and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife.
Yeah, meaning you lay with her.
She's your property. It says, and it shall be, if thou have no delight in her, then thou shalt let her go whither she will.
Yeah, but you can't sell her, right? That's the next verse.
It says, but thou shalt not sell her at all for money. Thou shalt not make merchandise of her, because thou hast humbled her. That's the point.
Yeah.
Got a precept?
Yes. 1 Kings 11 and 1.
First Kings chapter 11, verse 1. It says, but King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Sidonians, and Hittites, of the nations concerning which the Lord Yahweh said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go into them.
Yeah, so those are the heathen women that King Solomon had.
Neither shall they come in unto you, for surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love. Yeah. And he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart. Continue.
Listen. So that's the problem, you know what I'm saying? When you start worshiping these women's various gods, you know what I'm saying? And even falling in love with women is a form of worshiping. Putting them on the top of a pedestal. You know what I'm saying? The scriptures say that the head of every man is Yahweh Shai, and the head of every woman is the man. So for you to, be over here simping over a woman, you're really committing idolatry and you're going off. Like, yeah, I'm all in love. I'll do this for you and that for you, baby. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you want to go out for your birthday? Let's do that. You know what I'm saying? And the spirit of that person's birthday too. Like, at that, you know what I'm saying? So really everything you do is based off the spirit and the mindset of it. You know what I'm saying?
This is 1 Ezra chapter 4, verse 26.
But I mean, like, if you just happen to take your wife out on a date and it happens to be her birthday, and you already know in your mind that you acknowledge that you don't mess with birthdays, you don't really celebrate birthdays. You're already in that you're already in the right spirit of not committing idolatry, because birthdays is a paganistic ritual, a paganistic lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? That's where it comes from.
I seen this video. It was like a clip of DMX, and it was some Wu members there, and they was like, it was Thanksgiving, and they was like, so what is Thanksgiving? DMX, he was like,
Yeah, it ain't nothing but turkey.
it's just dinner.
It's just
It's
dinner.
just dinner.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
It's just dinner.
Yeah,
This is first Ezra chapter 4, verse 26. It says, "Ye, many there be that have run out of their wits for women, and become servants for their sakes." That's a sin. That just broke down the sin. It says many,
Because the simps be the ones, they'll pay for the apartment, they'll pay the bills,
they'll do something outside their best interest to make a woman happy.
and they may not even got it like that.
Exactly. It says many also have perished, have erred, and sinned for a woman. You know the brothers that come into this truth, they be all into it. They meet a woman, next thing you know, they have ugly Christmas sweater parties, Thanksgiving parties, and all kind of shit now.
Or they might fall out the truth because of a woman.
Right.
They might start going to strip clubs again.
Just back in the world after a woman. It says, "And now do ye not believe me? Is not the king great in his power? Do not all regions fear to touch him?" That's it on that.
Nope.
Switch gears. Get a woman all day.
Yeah. That's not why we out here.
Let's go to Revelation 1:25.
Yeah, because like we were saying, we're gonna have dominion over the earth. We're gonna inherit this world. And personally, I'll even speak for you. We can't wait. We cannot wait.
Right.
Because the sooner the better. Because we're ready to live, man.
Right. This is Revelation chapter 2, verse 25. It says, "But that which ye have already hold fast till I come. And he that overcometh and keepeth
Wait,
my..."
what do we have that we should hold fast to?
His faith.
The faith and the knowledge of the truth. You know, the fact that we're the Israelites. The fact that we have next in the world to come.
Some people, that's not enough.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's not enough.
Some people, they don't want it because you can't bring the other nations into this fold. There go Jake having that loving heart trying to save everybody.
Stockholm syndrome.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. But not everybody deserves saving. That's just the natural order of things.
Revelation 2:25. It says, "But that which ye have already hold fast till I come. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers."
Bring it down.
Yeah, it's talking about how in the kingdom of heaven, how we're going to rule over the nations. You know, we're going to have them in subjection under us. It says, "And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I receive of my Father. And I will give him the morning star. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches." That's what I'm
You give us the morning star. So we're going to be that light that's shining in the sky across the entire world, really, once we come into power. Because the other nations, like we said, they're going to be under subjection to us. You know, that's the whole point of having a kingdom and a majesty. You know what I'm saying?
Let's see. Start the 12th verse. This is Jeremiah 30:12. It says, "For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, thy bruise is incurable, and thy wound is grievous. There is none to plead thy cause, that thou mayest be bound up. Thou hast no healing medicines. All thy lovers have forgotten thee, they seek thee not. For I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy, with the chastisement of a cruel one, for the multitude of thine iniquities, because thy sins were increased. Why criest thou for thine afflictions? Thy sorrow is incurable, for the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased. I have done these things unto thee. And this is talking about the curses the Lord put on his people. It says, therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey.
Yeah. So that, in other words, the ones that keep us down, we're gonna have a change of roles. We're gonna be the ones that rise into power. And we're gonna keep them down.
Right.
We're gonna oppress them.
It's only right.
And if you think about it, they oppress us economically, mentally, spiritually, and just to harp on economically. I mean, think about what they do to the so-called black man. We're deprived of resources and jobs. You know what I'm saying? And if the black man doesn't have the money or the confidence or the resources, then he's not going to really have the confidence to start a family or even be able to find a wife. Because naturally, the way women think is they want to be taken care of. That's just naturally how women think. Men have to be the providers and the hunters. You know what I'm saying?
And they want somebody on that level, but preferably somebody doing better than them.
So, really what society has done has emasculated the black man. You know what I'm saying? Destroyed the family structure. And it's like, what do we have now to ourselves in this present time? We don't really got nothing. We can't say that we got our women. We can't say that we got money. We can't say that we have cars. So again, it's like, what are we living for here in this society?
Right.
We're really not living. We're just surviving.
Everything you do have is corrupted anyway.
Right. So really, we're at war. This is a time of war. You know what I'm saying? Spiritually, though.
Last verse. Jeremiah 30:17 says, for I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Lord Yahweh. Because they called thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion, whom no man seeketh after.
Right. And I mean, that's our life story right there. You know what I'm saying? It used to be in the old days where Jake will have a trade. He'll be able to get a job. He'll be able to provide for his family. The mindset of the women was less corrupted back then. In the old days. But fast forward to today, I mean, we could really say that women have surpassed men.
Yeah.
Look at the scripture. They surpassed us, even economically, because statistically, women are, especially the black woman, she's the most educated. She's the ones that goes to school and joins these fraternities and get these degrees in hopes of her getting a job and having a career. You know what I'm saying? And if she picks her fields correctly or right, she'll come out with a decent paying job or career. She might become a nurse, RN, you know what I'm saying? Which they get paid good money, I suppose. You know what I'm saying? But that's usually the path that women take. That's like a clear-cut copy path that women take, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whereas men, they wouldn't be so inspired or encouraged to take that path, you know what I'm saying? Even if they did, especially if you're a black man, there's no guarantee that you're gonna get a job in that field, you know what I'm saying? Because when you go to the hospital, what do you mostly see? Women. You see women working over there. You see them RNs. And then when you do see a Jake, he's the damn janitor, cleaning, mopping the floors. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, really sit here and think about it. What career path is a black man supposed to take in America? Is it becoming a police officer? Is it working in law? You know what I'm saying? I mean, those are all fields that destroy the work-life balance. And not only that, we see how now they're trying to cut government jobs. It used to be how, government jobs were like safe, secure. But now you see, Trump and his right-hand man cutting the government funding for these jobs. So now what? That's no longer safe and secure working for the government. So now what are you supposed to do? You're gonna go out in the private sector. You're gonna try to work in white corporate America as a black man and receive a high living wage. I mean, good luck with that.
That's really like a big deterrence here too, like you said, the work-life balance. Nobody wants to, like, who the fuck wants to live just to go to work and pay bills? You have no free time.
I hate when people
leisure.
People say that, oh, this is my dream job. Oh, what's your dream job? The whole concept of a dream job is ridiculous to me.
I never understood that.
Because your dream should be not to work. We're supposed to be a royal people on this earth. You want to be a slave of under Esau? That's your dream?
This is Jeremiah 31:22.
You get paid peanuts, and peanuts are next to nothing. You live a paycheck to paycheck. You gotta get a loan for your car. You gotta get a loan for your house. You get into even more debt just so you can have a place to stay with your family. So I mean, if this is the American dream, then I don't want it.
You gotta get a loan for a fucking diploma. You gotta get a loan for your education. You get a loan for everything.
But now, like, this capitalist system in America, it was never meant to last.
And people are starting to realize it though.
Right. So now we're seeing how things is collapsing. And they're saying that we're in for the biggest recession or the depression ever in history.
See it.
So once that happens, you already know what's next. Mark of the beast. I remember when I was in the store, this so-called white woman, she was like, don't do this. You know they got the palm reader in the stores? Don't take this. Don't do this. It's the mark of the beast. I looked at her and I smiled. So if people like her do this, what's up with everybody else? What's up with the rest of you Jays? You know what I'm saying?
They know, they just don't give a damn. Like, they see it, or they'll take in the information, but they don't quantify it as being valuable. They just brush it off. Like it don't mean nothing.
And once the great collapse happens, then what? It's gonna be a reset. And that reset is gonna be digital currency. I mean, it's just inevitable. This could very much well take place this year by way of the tariffs, if Trump is serious about it. Because it seems like he'll bring it back, hold it back, bring it out, take it back, you know what I'm saying? But they say April 2nd is the official day when it comes into place. So we'll see how that works. But in theory, that's going to cause the price of everything to go up, like we keep saying.
We all gonna suffer. That's something we're all gonna feel the squeeze.
Because where do you get the parts for your cars? Where do you get your clothes from? Where is the majority of everything made? It's not made in the U.S.
Appliances, literally everything. I got that scripture you called for.
Some things are still made in the U.S. And I guess the U.S. is trying to play ball. Throw their weight around and use it as leverage. But I think it's going to backfire.
I mean, things that are made here in America, it's expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive as hell. Because you're not going to get the cheap labor like you do in China or like in India.
That's why you get the prices you do.
Or Sri Lanka, you know what I'm saying?
New Balances was like $200, and they made in America. This is Jeremiah 31:22. It says, How long wilt thou go back? How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord Yahweh hath created a new thing in the earth.
The backsliding daughter is the Israelites. He's talking about the nation of Israel. Because the nation of Israel is likened unto a bride, a beautiful bride, and we're married to the Most High.
It says, For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man.
Yeah, and that's the new thing. women, they have a lot of power and say so. I mean, they're even in government positions, right?
I was meditating on that today. You'll be on internet, you might be scrolling or something, and you just see all these women.
You got women that are CEOs of companies,
Right.
supervisors at the job, police officers.
They belong to a sorority, college, all of that kind of stuff. But no matter what their socioeconomic status is, all these women are loose. They all act like hood chicks. They all act ratchet.
And women naturally have an easier life than men because no matter
Nobody's
how you,
coming to save you as a man.
yeah, nobody's coming to save you. And no matter how you slice it, this is a man's world, right?
In real life.
So you might have a hiring manager for a company or the CEO of the company, really push or promote hiring women, and they might even really try to go for the nice looking women because they want something to look at when they're in the office. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
You see what the
You see Sharon over there? Yeah.
them scrubs be tight, boy. They be having a wagon and all that.
Yeah.
You're like, damn, this how they come to work like this?
These companies would rather hire women, especially good looking women, as opposed to a black man. I mean, let's be real.
You ever been to like a dentist office and you see the fine ass woman working there? You be like, God damn.
They be having the tight scrubs on.
Word.
Even the nurses.
You're like,
RNs.
in the dentist office, you thought you was in the club or something.
That's like such a clear cut career path to take as a woman. I mean, for you to just go to school, get your degree, become a nurse, I mean, there's a high likelihood that you'll get the career in your fields.
I mean, school is really for women. Like, sitting down for 8 hours a day, just sitting down, learning some nonsense. That's all set up for women.
Yeah,
Men don't learn like that.
That's facts.
Like you teach young boys don't learn like that. That's why they're so in class. That's why they always quick to throw the ADD on them, the ADHD on them. Boys don't learn like that.
Again, statistically, that's why women are the most educated as opposed to men. Especially black women. Because like I say, figure we've been through so much trauma. They ain't never had shit. So it's 2025. Let's go out there and get something in this land of no country. You know what I'm saying? And it's easier for them to do and accomplish it.
I mean, they're really free to do and be whatever they want to be here. America, there's no checks and balances. That's why marriage is just a stupid idea here, because there's no checks and balances in place.
Yeah, because all marriage is you signing a contract with really the state.
Then the people involved. And then here it is, you do your part, and she could be and do whatever she wants to do. And then when she wants to divorce you, you have to leave her with some sustenance. How is that fair?
And you might want to stay, you might not want to leave on that. You know what I'm saying? You want to make it work.
I don't know, she fuck another dude. I don't know if I can make it work. But even then, she'll commit adultery on you.
She does that, it's over with.
She'll commit adultery on you, then divorce you, and you still gotta leave her with something. That's America for you. In the kingdom where there's actual checks and balances, she'll be put to death, her and that other man, which in turn will make it less likely for it to happen. Because they know there's some real stakes here. I could lose my life for this, it ain't worth it. But here, you're free to do whatever you want to do, because ain't nobody gonna say nothing.
You know that women, they carry DNA, men that they've been with?
Yeah.
So not only does the DNA that the men that they've been with affect them psychologically and mentally, it also affects their children.
It's really nasty and disgusting. You shouldn't be having to live
They
like
say
this.
that's why sometimes men have children with a woman, the child will resemble the previous dude that she lived with, not really so much a father. They say that happens, and the children may even take on the woman's exes, past traumas and mental disorders. You know what I'm saying?
That's why women are so bugged out in the head. It's like they're schizophrenic. They're one way with you, and then the next moment with you, they'll be a totally different person. But that's James she was fucking. That's James.
Like, what? I thought we was doing good.
James jumped out of that demon on him.
That shit is scary when you think about it. Makes you wonder, because what does that mean for the rest of us? Because God only knows what your mother was doing prior to your father.
That's the thing. All these women got a story here.
That's why the Lord called this an adulterous generation.
I gotta get that.
they're worth more than what they are. Gotta pay all my bills, yeah.
This is Matthew chapter 16, verse 4. It says, "A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given."
Yeah, they seek it after a sign, all right. That damn, what is it, what's this? Astrology?
Oh yeah,
But, oh, you're a Taurus?
collecting
You're
rocks.
a Libra? They got the crystals all around their neck. Oh, you read your horoscope this morning?
The evil eye,
Yeah.
all that
All
nonsense.
that nonsense. And that's a red flag with women. If you see a chick is into that, it's a red flag.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't give a shit. None of that shit has any effect on
Yeah,
me.
I don't care neither.
That shit don't have
You know,
effect.
these women ain't right anyway.
Yeah.
But you just know the signs to look out for.
Again, Matthew 16 and 4. "A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no signs be given unto it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. And he left them and departed." I don't think that's the one I was thinking of. Oh yeah, I was thinking it's the same thing, but I was thinking of Matthew 12 and 39. It says, "But he answered and said unto them, An evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no signs be given to it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas." It's pretty the same thing.
Yeah, okay. So in all actuality, dating culture is not even supposed to be in existence.
It's just confusion. That's all it is.
And just imagine if, the facts about DNA, still being in women was taught in school. Just imagine if that was taught, maybe they would have been, mindful of how they moved.
What was that one?
For a lot of these chicks, they cake is baked.
Chick ain't really dealing with women like that. At least not the black woman.
You can't really, because they want everything. They want you to give them everything. It's still not enough. Or they'll forget what you gave them in the blink.
But it's definitely lady.
Exactly.
Was that Khalees? This is Matthew. I mean, she was a diva. This is Proverbs 30 and 20. It says, "Such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth, and saith, I have done no wickedness." That's a dark saying right there. You see? Here it is. You can catch her in the act, and she still won't take no accountability for it. She'll say your eyes have deceived you. You ain't see what you thought you see. And that's really what goes on with that shit. Every woman you come in contact with here. Trying to get a woman to only deal with you and you only, that's like, you shouldn't even bother. Like, and it ain't even worth it.
You could be that dude that has the money, right, and the resources, and that still may not be enough. She might get bored because, women have a problem with embracing monotony. So that's when she'll give that dude on the corner, a chance, and it'll be so ironic to you. You'll be like, yo, I actually got myself together. I have a car, I have a job. You know what I'm saying? But you over here cheating on me with this dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
What
saying?
they call him Pookie and Ray Ray.
It happens all the time because the whole saying, the easiest woman to get is the one that already has a man because you're only competing with one attention. You know what I'm saying? One attention, one man. Whereas opposed when a woman is single, she's playing her options. You know what I'm saying? She's like, oh, you know how women are. Don't measure a dude by how much money he makes or what his status is.
Yeah, she's just juggling the, dudes and see which who land on their feet.
Yeah. She'll look at this like, oh, this dude, he's cool, he's this. But he doesn't really make that much money. He don't really have a career. Oh, this guy, he's nice, he's too nice, but he makes good money, he makes a good living, but, still not really my type, you know what I'm saying?
I'll keep him on the wing.
Yeah. So, really, in all actuality, these chicks don't know what they want.
That's why as a man, just worry about yourself. Just put yourself first. You can't lose, like, well, you're how shy first, obviously. But, put yourself first. Don't put the woman's needs and wants before your own. You'll always
put
lose
yourself
like that.
first, which if you're in the right mind frame, you're putting them aside first.
When you put yourself first, so Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, then you know that order, you can never lose. I got precept.
It don't really matter anyway, because at the end of the day, at least tonight, we're gonna give all the women that we want anyway.
Right.
And it's gonna be that the way that we want it to be. It's not gonna be no situation where we gotta compromise ourselves or trim our ways just to try to keep this woman or bag this woman.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're gonna feel like a sucker too.
And then for what? You playing this game to have this chick that's already had numerous men in her lifetime?
She's still with other dudes. You just one of the dudes.
Yeah. So I mean, if you want to play that game, that's your prerogative.
Right.
I'm not knocking you, but just know what it is.
Exactly. The mindset. That's really what it's all about. The mindset. You be having jakes online, they find out their woman cheating on them, and they start crashing out. They want to call the dude on the other line, crying on the line. Like, yo, you wasn't in the right mindset from the jump. You should have knew better.
And that's what happens when you put women on a pedestal. You fall all in love with them.
At least these women, for sure.
Yeah. So you gotta know how to move.
This is Proverbs 9:17.
Because if you put all your trust and faith into a woman, you're just gonna end up disappointed.
Yeah, you're gonna lose every time. This is Proverbs 9:17. Stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. But he knoweth not that the dead are there, and that her guests are in the depths of hell. See, that's the mindset. Stolen waters is sweet. You got Jake with that mindset. A woman she'll have a man, but he'll still want to cut her anyway. He gets off on that. Something in his mind that it's like makes it more pleasurable for him or some shit like that. When she got a man, you still could bag her. Like, oh, that nigga ain't no shit. I still bag her.
Like this actor, I don't remember his name. It's chosen. You know Tiana Taylor?
Yeah.
And you know how she was married to Iman Shumpert? Well, it turns out now that supposedly Tiana Taylor, she dated this actor guy.
Yeah, the green eyes.
Yeah, the green, the light skin. Yeah. So it's like you're a guy like that, and you want the next man's sloppy seconds.
Children and all that.
She got kids.
See, a man with some self-respect and some dignity. I'm not saying like if you're a brother, you're an older brother, and you got a woman that's a wife and she had children before, take it with a grain of salt. It's a situation.
This guy is famous.
Yeah,
he's
like
Hollywood.
exactly.
He's in position to get, a better woman than her.
Right.
It's one that doesn't have kids.
This is what you chose.
This is what you want. It's really to me it seems like these be the type of dudes that just want to one up a nigga. Like the scripture we just read, it's just like more, fulfilling for them. You know what I'm saying?
She's famous. She got status.
Yeah, read it again and then we're gonna close.
Proverbs 9:17 says, "Stolen waters are sweet." Let's read that NLT. Proverbs 9:17 in the NLT. It says, "Stolen water is refreshing. Food eaten in secret tastes the best. But little do they know that the dead are there. Her guests are in the depths of the grave."
Yeah, food eaten in secret tastes the best. So he just wants his taste. Because he may have always had a thing for it. And he don't care, if it goes one way or the next. He just knows he might not really commit all that much. Unless he's a Russell Wilson nigga. I don't know.
What's that young nigga that play? I think he's on the Hawks or something. That's dealing with Dre and Michelle, Jalen.
He's on the Rockets.
Rockets, right. It's like, damn.
She got kids and she's older than him, way older than him.
Right. She said she got a kid that's his age. So it's like, damn, that's what she bad. Don't get me wrong, my nigga. That's what you
You're
landed
not
on.
going front. She looked good.
You got her pregnant. You slipped up. You sold, Jake.
But it's like at the same time, a young man like Jalen Green, he could have got any woman he wanted.
Those will show you the options.
But he got her.
Right. The options must be shit.
That does being rich and famous is old, man. Because if it was me, I would have took myself to Brazil. You know what I'm saying? Dominican Republic. Shit, I would have went to Colombia. Found me a girl out there. I mean, you even would have had options in America.
Right.
It seems like all these rich and famous dudes, they follow the same old formula. NBA players and athletes, they be getting chicks that's already been had. That got families with, other men. I don't get it.
Right. That was it on that.
So we're gonna close. Shalom. Until next time.
Shalom.